Page 20, the King's Royal Entrance. The top of the page, they have some chords and the chord names and all that. You'll learn to recognize these chords in the music eventually, so you can, when you're reading music, you'll just think of it as one thing. You're not thinking of it as individual notes. And eventually you'll get used to seeing these chords. The C chord, the D chord, and the E chord. The C chord's all white keys, but the D chord and the E chord have a black key in the middle. You get used to seeing them eventually. Let's talk the King's Royal something here. It is page and a half long, right through 6 lines, it looks like. Treble and bass clef, 4/4 time signature, and we got accidentals all over the place. These chords at the beginning. I'm going to take both hands at the same time because it's mostly one hand or the other playing. So you're starting out with the E chord in the left, the E chord in the right. So, and the left hand gets whole notes. So you're going to hold that down as you play the right hand. And then again, then a D chord. Just lift up and come down. Lift up and come down. And then a C chord, quarter notes. And then here. Well, in the 3rd and 4th measure, the left hand has rest, but the right hand doesn't. You got to come to here immediately. Just be aware that the right hand doesn't have a rest. You got to move. Yeah, and make sure you lift up for the rest. Don't hold it down. And then measure 5, same notes we just had, but a different rhythm. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure you hold the left hand down. And then quarter notes again. Okay. Measure 9, quarter notes. And we have F sharp. Second finger's on F, we'll use it on F sharp. And then the, measure 11's left hand. Your left hand is already in this position because you just did an E chord, so you're already there. F sharp, 4th finger. And measure 12, those half notes, those are both F sharps. Remember, the sharp's good for the rest of the measure. And then measure 13, the left hand gets whole note B's. The right hand's playing what you did at measure 9. And then you have 8th notes, 1 and 2 and. You take them as slow as you gotta go. It's the same notes we've been playing, except there's no A. No. It's just here. And again, I'm just rotating or transferring weight from finger to finger. I'm not holding the hand still and trying to use the fingers. Here to here, transfer the weight here. And then the B in the left hand. Then you get the chords again. Let's go down to the bottom, the last line. It's the last 2 measures. You have E chords. And then come up. And then come down. And then E chord, the left hand stays there. Here. So the right hand's moving. Now, a little bit about moving around here. We're moving it. Obviously, we're moving. You're playing 3 notes at a time. You're trying to, I assume, you're trying to aim 3 fingers at a time each time. And I'm saying that doesn't work real well. So what you can do, depends on the situation, but when the hand position is pretty much the same, or at least close, here it is. You have a black key on the first one. You're still in this position. You're using 1, 3, and 5 fingers. You can do, what I recommend you think about, is you just aim 1 finger. Let's say the thumb. I'm just thinking about the thumb. If I hold my hand in that position and I make the adjustment for the black note when I need it, the other finger should behave. So it's thumb, thumb, but I'm just holding my hand in this position. I'm aiming the thumb. Aim the thumb, but you got a black key. You should be able to do this with any finger. And normally I would do it with the melody note. I don't know that there's a melody here. It's probably the top note of Rhea. So I would aim the little finger and let the other fingers go along for the ride. With a little practice, that actually makes it easier to move your hands around while playing multiple notes. But you got to practice it like everything else. And then the last measure, you're here, and then the last note in the left hand is an E with an 8/8 under it. Remember the rule for 8/8. If it's above the staff, you go up. If it's below the staff, you go down. And it's only for the staff it's next to. So here is the left hand. Just go down and play the low E. Just lift up and move. Use any finger you want. I usually use 5 because it's the closest. Because if I use other fingers, I got to move further. So farther. Got to move farther. You go through and work out the notes and the rhythms. No hesitations. Now we think about the articulation. They don't give you much except staccatos here on page 20. So connect these. You can't because they're chords. You got to lift up. And then staccato. I'm hinging at the rhythm. I'm on the key and I'm bouncing off each time. Then I put my hands back on the key for the next one. So here. And I'm back on the key even before I play the other hand. Now measure 9, you get the slurs. These are not phrases, these are slurs. They're telling you to connect the notes. Well, the phrase, as it turns out, happens to be the whole line, the musical thought. So you could connect the whole line together. And then lift up, like taking a breath. So I would not lift up before and after these slurs. That's too choppy. You think, what is the king doing here? Just go ahead and connect the whole line. The second line is the same way. Connect the whole line in the right hand. It's all just one thought. At the end, the last 2 measures, staccatos and accent. Give them a little extra oomph. And an accent. Let the wrist claps on these accents. Don't play with a stiff wrist. Dynamics, well, this is the king's entrance here, so you're going to be loud. So both hands, whatever you think loud is. Don't get carried away, it's not very loud. And then when measure 9 comes along, you're soft. Whatever you think soft is, P for piano. Then come up, measure 13, come up a little bit to moderately soft. Mezzo piano. This will be for the right hand. The left hand, keep it in the background. And you got hairpin there on measure 15 to start getting louder. You're going to go up to loud, but don't get loud to measure 17. So at measure 13, you're starting this moderately soft. Moderately loud. Now you're loud. You have to plan that crescendo out, or you'll be loud by the middle of measure 15. You'll be, see, I'll be loud right there. No, you gotta hold off, just a little bit. Now loud. So forth, and then the last 2 measures, the ritardando to slow down. You're loud here, and you're gonna go up to very loud. You don't really need accents when it's very loud. Just play it very loud. And slow down. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I guess the king is here. Now, they've added pedal here. I'm not really sure why. You don't need pedal on this. Pedal is going to mess it up. It's going to... Blech. They're only using pedals for first couple lines of measure 21 to blur that all up, to turn it into blech. And the pedal on the end. Now, again, it's all part of interpreting. If you really prefer the sound without the pedal, then leave the pedal out. But they put it in, so let's talk about it. I'm going to push the note down first on measure 9, and then the pedal immediately after. I'm going to hold the pedal down until after I play the chord on measure 17. Right when I play the chord, right immediately after, then I'll let the pedal up. So at measure 9, we're here. blends it all together. But then I'll measure 17. I'm going to lift it up. So I'll start on measure 16. It's here. And then right after I play the chord and measure 17, I'll lift it up. Right there. I'm going to connect all the sound. You lose the phrasing. Then at the end, that last measure, this is really loud here, so push the pedal down. With the notes, we want to explode it. And then lift the pedal up with the hands. It all comes up together. That's the pedal. Just make sure that when you do the pedal, if you're going to pedal anything like that, you put your foot on the pedal at the beginning and you leave it there for the whole piece. Don't be putting your foot on the pedal and taking it off. Leave it on the pedal. Now, a little bit about interpreting it. You think, well, what can you do? Well, all of the dynamics and articulation and pedaling is all interpretation. So you can experiment with it. It's on like a measure 5 and 6 on the right hand. Make it sound like it go to here. So the half note gets a little more ba-ba-bum. Rather than that ba-ba-bum. No, give it a little inflection there, a little expression, ta-da-ha, go to here type thing. Let's play it together slowly. Double check all the notes and rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'm not going to do the pedaling because you can hear the notes better without the pedaling, and that's all this is for. Are you playing the right note at the right time? So I'll give us 4 counts, and let's play it together slowly. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4 and 4 and 2, 3, 4. Two, three, four. One, two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4 and